At the edge of our town, there's a shitty gas station that's open for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, sometimes longer. If you were to go inside, you'd probably see the tired cashier sitting behind the front desk and doing his best to mind his own business. He's real. You may also see someone else. You may also see something else. And if you're curious about the reality of anyone or anything else, including yourself, inside of that small, ammonia-scented, flickering fluorescent collection of off-brand junk food, dirt, 4 walls and a roof, may I recommend that you follow the cashier's lead and mind your own business. I've been working at that gas station for almost non-stop since I graduated high school.
At this point, I doubt I could quit even if I wanted to. But enough about me. Let's get back to the interesting things, like the gas station. You know, I spent a decent amount of time yesterday at the start of my shift just trying to decide which story would be worthy of being my first to document to the world. Anytime I tell someone outside of the gas station anything about what happens therein, I know what to expect. Now, imagine the difficulty I had trying to call the sheriff's station to explain that half a pig broke into the store, and it's currently running amok, breaking things and screaming with the voice of an old woman. Yes, I meant half a pig. Yes, a pig. The front half. No, this isn't a joke. I'm at the gas station. What do you mean, which gas station? The shitty one, at the edge of town. You must be new. Can I please talk to someone else? Now, thankfully, she finally put me through to Tom. Tom is a sheriff's deputy that drew the short straw all those years ago and had to come out to the gas station for the first time, back before his hair was all white. He's been in enough times now that all I really have to say when he picks up on the line is, "It's half a pig." It won't stop screaming, and I can't catch it. And then he grunts, mutters something about being pretty freaking weird, and then drives out here to help me catch it. Tom's a good guy. I asked around, but nobody knew where the pig had come from. That was back when Farmer Brown was still alive, and he came down to take a look and provided his expert opinion. According to the farmer, the pig had somehow been chopped down the middle, but miraculously none of the important organs were hit. Nothing supernatural about it, just really unusual. It stayed at the local elementary school as a kind of a mascot for the summer before a scientist and his team from somewhere up north offered a school $1,000 to let them take it. For science, I suppose. Anyway, I don't mean to ramble, but my point is that it's hard to believe some of these stories if you haven't been inside the gas station at least once. And maybe you have. We're the only gas station for miles. We're close enough to some big crossroads. If you've ever been out driving in an unfamiliar part of the country and found yourself lost, it's not impossible that you could have found yourself at my doors. Maybe you were looking to top off your gas. Maybe it was to ask for directions. But if you have a strange memory of a weird place that somehow doesn't seem to fit with the rest of your memories, well, then there's a chance that we've actually met. Now, back to last night. I was sitting behind the counter with a pen and a book of receipt paper, trying to remember the strangest thing that had happened to me that still falls within the realm of believability. I've had plenty of things happen that were strange and so unbelievable that I won't even waste anyone's time ever telling them. I'd call those the try and forget stories. When Diego interrupted my concentration. Diego is one of the part-timers at the gas station. We have a long list of part-time employees. The owners like to hire transients, drifters, hitchhikers, passerbys, and runaways looking for work for a few days. I try not to get to know the part-timers. They come and go after a few days, or sometimes a few weeks, rarely long enough to form any kind of meaningful relationship. But then, there's Diego. Now, Diego's been working here for almost a year now. He started as part of the work prison relief program, unloading trucks twice a week. He was the only one of the 12 prisoners that didn't disappear during a freak snowstorm last December, but that's none of my business. Diego did his time, and then they released him, and he came to work here, cleaning the store and unloading trucks. He comes in 6 times a day for each of his 30-minute shifts. Now that I think about it, I'm not exactly sure what he does during those shifts. The store is never clean, and the trucks only come twice a week, exclusively during the daylight hours as per arrangement following the incident. Maybe one day I'll ask Diego what he does for the owners. All I know is that he's the closest thing to a friend that I have here. When Diego approached me at the register last night, I knew something was unusual. He was sweating bullets, pale, and on the verge of passing out. He kept glancing back at the man in the suit that had wandered into the store and was standing next to the frozen drink machine. He told me that he needed to talk. Now. I told him, go ahead. But he refused to say anything unless I followed him into the freezer. Now, I usually hate to leave the front of the store unwatched. We have the occasional shoplifter. Plus, there was that one time that Rocco got in and made off with 2 cases of cigarettes. But Diego seemed serious, so I made an exception for him. Once we were in the sub-freezing safety of the walk-in cooler, Diego asked me if I had seen the guy in the suit. I said yes, I saw him. He asked me if I knew the guy, and I said yes, I'd seen him around town. His name was Kiefer. He was running for some kind of office, I can't remember which one, and stopped by the gas station every now and then. He drove an old black SUV that only took premium. I mean, I didn't know much from in town, but he was definitely local. His picture was framed in my high school's trophy case for those sport competitions he had won years and years before I got there. We only have so many things to be proud of, I suppose. I knew of Kiefer, but we weren't exactly acquaintances. I told all this to Diego, who shook his head and said, "No, that can't be Kiefer." And I said, "Why not?" And Diego told me, "Well, that can't be Kiefer, because Kiefer's dead. I killed him 2 days ago, and his body's in the trunk of my car right now." Now that's when things started getting weird. I don't really know what to do with this. I recognize how awful it is to pause the story at a place like this, but I'm about to head back to work. I'm only just now taking my lunch break, and I came all the way down here to the library to document last night before I forgot. I still have to eat and change out of these dirt-covered clothes before I head back. I did a lot of digging last night. Plus, I don't want to leave the part-timers alone with those lawn gnomes until we know exactly what's going on. Oh, and I forgot to mention the lawn gnomes. I'm so scatterbrained right now. Like I said, it was a very strange night. Between the hand plants, Farmer Jr., and the cultists that wouldn't leave me alone, I hardly had enough time to collect my thoughts. And of course, there's this Diego situation. I promise I'll come back and tell you all about it. But first, I need to grab some coffee.